a new Havenheim area expansion, a new quest, a new dig site. There's a lot coming out in June and they've previewed all of it. We need to jump in and see what's going on. Today's feature update is uncovering the secrets of Amberfell, a new quest in the Havenheim area of RuneScape. This expands the map region of Havenheim into the east to where Amberfell is, as well as adding the Moonrise Digsite to the north of the village. June's month ahead was also dropped today, where we can see that the dig site Moonrise has not been released yet. It will be releasing on the 15th of June. You can still access the outside of the dig site, there's just not a whole lot there at the moment until they add it later in June. Additionally, we may be getting a sneak peek here of the new female face model that they mentioned a couple weeks ago after the beta for the new avatar ended. Said that they tweaked the female face a little bit more, so this could potentially be the finalized version. We'll see on the 8th of June next week when the new player avatar launches into main game. I also really like the art design here of the little character inside the A. It's very cool. We're getting more of a preview of the Havenheim dig site next week as well, and the new marketplace drop of cosmetics is coming called Chaos and Destruction, so it's no doubt connected to Zamorak somehow. Potentially vampiric as well, tying into the whole Havenheim vampire aesthetic. Later on in the month, they're also previewing the Grand Exchange update that's coming out. Mod Ryan's also teased a little bit about the Grand Exchange improvements, saying that
more accurate pricing on items, so the price of an item updating more frequently and equally showing the most recently on average traded price for that item based on recent trades.
So it's easier to know what the price of an item actually is. A little bit light on the details still, but there will be more information about that later in June. And finally, the last week of June, we've got a Waterbirth Island remaster, which kinda came out of nowhere. There's been no preview of this so far, and there still isn't a preview of it. I went digging, couldn't find a single mention of it. But if the Lunar Isle rework is anything to go by, you can see this is the old one and this is the new one that was added late last year. This is the kind of level of polish that you can expect, I'm sure, from the Waterbirth Island one coming at the end of the month. Alongside the update today, Jagex also released a month ahead look where they talk a little bit about the previous month as well as the current month we're going into. And Mod Ryan talks a little bit about the first part of Havenheim being very low player focused, meaning that a lot of, medium to high level players, they jumped into the content, they completed it, and then they left. There wasn't a whole lot to do in Havenheim after you'd completed the content because it's aimed at lower levels and you generally go through those levels quicker. There's good news if you like Havenheim's aesthetic though, because towards the now second half of the year, they're going to be releasing more content aimed towards mid and high level players, meaning that it'll take longer, you'll be spending more time there, there'll be more to grind, more rewards to claim. So that all seems good to me.
But there are some updates to Havenheim before the bigger update to Havenheim later in the year. As we move towards the later one, the bigger part, there's more focus on late game. That one's going to have a lot more long tail content, the sort of content you could be digging your teeth into for tens of hours. You know, some people mentioned, especially our core audience who are more active players, more high level players by default, kind of jumped into Havenheim, did a bunch of stuff and then said, hey, I'm finished, and then left.
We've also got some concept art of the Moonrise Digsite coming out later this month. Mod D Barker has done some mood paints of the area. This is what the outside looks like at the start here. We then got a wider shot with the moon in the background. This isn't exactly what it's going to look like, but this is sort of the mood for the area. This is more similar to what it is going to look like towards the end. We've also got some notes there for designing it. Here's kind of the mood setting they're going with for Amberfell as well. It's sort of got like a nighttime vibe to it with warmer autumn feeling trees and foliage. Here we've got some concept art of the inside of the dig site as well, which is not accessible at the moment. Exciting stuff, a lot to look forward to in June. If you want to check out the video of Mod Anvil and Mod Ryan talking about past month and the current month, I'll link that below so you can watch that on the official RuneScape channel. There's not only previews today though, we've got some good patch notes as well as the new quest that's come out. Firstly, we've got some discussion around graphical glitches that have been happening since the engine update last week. If you've had any graphical issues since last week's update, you may be able to find a solution with their tips and tricks today. They specify that AMD graphics cards have had a driver update in May that has caused some of these issues to happen with the textures not loading properly. So if you revert your driver to April or earlier, it should fix the problem while they address the problems with the May update or until a later update from AMD comes out. Now, this isn't the case for everyone and not everyone has AMD graphics cards as well, so they are still currently investigating other problems that could have arisen from the engine update. There's also been reports from Mac OS users that similar missing textures have been happening. If you have an integrated GPU, for this one, the team is just working on a fix for it. There is no thing you can do specifically at the moment to solve it. And also, like I mentioned last week with Durgish Khan, for example, being a little bit laggy, there has been reports of stuttering and frame drops, especially when transitioning from the overworld into cave systems, especially if you're not using loading screens, which I don't use. So they are currently investigating a solution for this, but they don't have an estimate of when they'd be able to release that yet. So just stay tuned. So it doesn't sound like there's been any major changes for the graphical engine this week to fix bugs, but they are currently investigating solutions to solve the problem. Though if you do have an AMD graphics card, there is something you can do there to potentially fix the problems for now. And they also say that if you are encountering graphical glitches, to report it with your graphics card details, as well as a driver version you're using in the main feedback thread for the Quest update today. There's also currently a spring player satisfaction survey, which you can access by going into the lobby of the game. Simply log in, and the survey should pop up in the main bit here, though I've completed it, so it's not there anymore. But if you do see it in this square box here, or one of these here, you can click on that to be taken to a website link where it will give you the survey. Not a lot of Jagex moderator comments this week. We've got one from Yui, who's answering a question about RuneFest tickets for carers. Carer tickets are people accompanying someone, most likely with a disability, going to RuneFest. To purchase a carer ticket, you will have to provide proof of being a carer before purchasing the ticket, but there will be no checks at RuneFest itself. If you have a ticket, they will just trust that you are a carer there, but you'd likely have to be accompanied with your carry. I was about to say, is that a word you could use? Carry, yeah, let's go with that. You'd likely have to be together with them when entering, as you would expect, right? Mod Soul also mentioning that if you have graphical glitches like this one, to please include your hardware specifications so that they can look into the problem easier. So, Secrets of Amberfell is a new quest that has come out today. In this quest, you will connect Amberfell with Wendelwick once again. It features Inanna, the wolf god that's been mentioned so far in Havenhearth a couple times. Anya is also apparently back, so it's going to be a great time. I can already feel it. Here they've got pictures of Amberfell as well. Amberfell, a quaint and peaceful village east of Wendelwick, has grown eerily silent after floods damaged the bridge connecting it to the outside world. Now an urgent SOS arrived from across the river, and it's up to you to uncover the truth in the brand new members quest Secrets of Amberfell. This quest picks up the story shortly after Hearts of Senguin and continues your investigation into the Senguin menace and the mysterious voices that first brought you to the island. The voice being Inanna, as far as I'm aware. Skill requirements for this quest include 35 Herbler, 30 Construction, 32 Hunter, and 28 Slayer, so not awfully high. To start the quest, make your way over to Amberfell, meet up with some of the interesting natives of Havenhearth, and learn more about the dangers that lie ahead. So here on the east side of Havenhearth, we've got the Amberfell area. You start the quest at the bridge. If you make your way over, you can see that the Moonrise Digsite is above Amberfell, but it's just not released yet. You can explore the outside though. I'll be doing a separate standalone video for the quest coming out later this week, so stay tuned for that. Amberfell also features a ferry ring for easy access, as well as being connected to the canoe system on Havenhearth. Though with all the canoe stations, you will have to build the one in Amberfell before you can use it. And then with the addition of the new dig site, Moonrise, there will no doubt be a way to teleport directly to the dig site through the Archaeology Guild. RuneScape's merch store has reopened. It was recently closed down due to them shifting from merchant partners. They're now operating with a new company, I believe, to provide RuneScape merch. If you want to buy anything or check out the stock, you can head to runescapemerch.com. They've featured a handful of new items. There's also a lot of pre-orders going on at the moment because I don't think they have the stock quite ready yet. But as soon as it is, they will start sending it out. We've got some AngelScape pins. Those are always really high quality and very cool, featuring the official Igneous Call Zuck cape, or the Zuck cape for short. This one features colored enamel as well as glitter enamel and a 2.5D black nickel metal detailing around the edges, so you can feel the ridges as you touch your Zuck cape. No, very cool, very cool. We've also got the Exakeel, the Zuck sword keyring. Also got colored enamel here, as well as jelly enamel. I'm not really sure what that would be. And the 2.5D black nickel metal detailing to emphasize the edges. Also looks really nice. And then finally, the Omni Guard keyring from the first Necromancer set. Also features colored and jelly enamel with a 2.5D antique gold metal detailing for this one. All 3 of these items can be pre-ordered in the merch store now, alongside a whole range of other apparel and various other items. On 2 patch notes for this week then. A crash bug has been fixed with the Totem Bag and Slayer Codex. Home teleporting while in Dungeoneering now works properly. And solo Dungeoneering experience has been buffed. And not just a little bit, it has been buffed a lot. So these are floor modifiers, meaning it's the base experience you get from the floor from just simply doing it. Small floors have gone from 20 to 75%, 3 times more experience from small dungeons. Medium has gone from 20 to 150, a little over 7 times more experience from mediums, and 20 to 300% on large, which is 15 times more experience from large dungeons doing them solo. On top of this, the floor XP boost you get from doing Dungeoneering in general has been increased from 10% to 25% per stack. So even if you're doing group Dungeoneering, the experience has increased this week by a little bit, assuming you're doing every single floor. It definitely seems like doing the critical path for solo Dungeoneering has been brought back now with this update. If you can do large floors really fast as a solo player, you might actually be able to just boss rush now and get really good experience, though I do believe you'd be missing out on like 250 to 300% from not completing the entire floor as well. So, I mean, in general though, solo experience has had a massive buff this week, so if you are doing Dungeoneering by yourself, you should be seeing far higher experience rates, no matter how you end up playing Dungeoneering. We've also got an update on warped stones in the shop. To my surprise, they didn't increase the cost of 2-hand weapons. They've actually, in fact, refunded people a lot of warped stones, so you may actually have some extra warped stones in your bank today, depending on what items you've purchased so far. Now, all the dual-wielding ruinous weapons only cost 1 stone for each set, meaning that you can now purchase the main hand and offhand at the same time for 1 warped stone. The overall token price has stayed the same, but they're now bundled together in one, so getting the dual wield set costs 1 million tokens plus a warped stone, the previous cost being 750 for main hand and then 250 for offhand. So it's still the same, it's just been bundled into one now. You can see in the store here that each of these features both weapons for all the dual wield ones. Though, what the heck is going on with the text in this shop? Ruinous Crossbow is overlapping the Dungeoneering token amount you need. I can barely see how many tokens I need for these. Just rename it to Ruinous Rapier Bundle or something like that. Ruinous Crossbow Bundle. Ruinous Necromancy Bundle, I don't know. There's too much text, it doesn't fit. So I mentioned that warped stones have been refunded this week, but that doesn't mean that the tokens have been refunded. So some players are left in a little bit awkward position here, because if you purchased simply the main hand, but not the offhand, now you would have to spend 1 million tokens rather than 250k. So that's not great. There's also no way to sell the ruinous weapon because once you get it from the store, it's untradeable. You are sort of being compensated though. They're giving you a warped stone for this, which sells for a good chunk of money. You could offload your extra warped stone if you want to, but I guess it does suck a bit that you would have to spend a larger amount of tokens now to get both items, since you'd only have part of the bundle that's now being sold. In the case of chaotic weapons, you can in fact right-click destroy them to be refunded 50% of the token price. I believe ruinous weapons have a drop option rather than a destroy option, so I don't think you can refund it that way. At the end of a floor, the smuggler will now spawn closer to the ladder on the plane freezer and the Sagittarian boss rooms. Some problems with the Sagittarian boss idle animation. There was a bug where low complexity dungeons would turn into high complexity dungeons on the next floor once you've completed it. The Goblin Tech Tree layout has been a little bit wonky since they removed the Dungeoneering Party Simulator from it, but that has been fixed today. It's now possible to move the Dungeoneering map, which I thought it was possible to do before. Gatestone icons will now properly appear above boss rooms and the starting room icon. They won't delete them or override them, so you can see both are there. Teleportation blocks have been removed from the Luminescent Ice Fiend boss and the Iklagor the Thunderous boss. Celestial Catalytic Staff in Dungeoneering has had its model updated and now looks like the new shiny Chaotic Staff. There were situations where your conjures in Dungeoneering for Necromancy would despawn if you use the Gatestone teleport. This has been fixed today. They should no longer be disappearing when you Gatestone. Some Iron Men pickup messages have been added to Dungeoneering. Ironman can now trade puzzle items with other players in Daemonheim. I guess this is for puzzle rooms specifically. I'm excited for this one. Owned keys are now highlighted on the Dungeoneering map, so they have a little white border around them. It's quite faint though, I would almost like to see it a little bit thicker, but overall I'm very happy that this was added. It's been one of my most anticipated features. There was a problem with the Invention achievement, gives me the blues, it can now be completed once again. And Garage and Trailblazer outfit, the Dungeoneering Elite outfit, can now be purchased for tokens in the Dungeoneering token store. You get 3,600 fragments for 10,000 tokens, which I believe is enough to create one piece every 10,000 Dungeoneering tokens, so you'll have that outfit relatively quickly now. I believe there was a lot of feedback saying that the outfit was very slow to unlock before, so this is a great change. Chaos Art is one of the featured artists this week, Solak interacting with a little dodo bird. Chaos Art does a lot of 3D renders for RuneScape, very cool artwork with lighting. I believe they export the models from the game into Blender to do this, or some 3D program at least. Looks very cool. Legend Arts has also been featured this week with a seemingly Zamarakian ritual going on. We've got the Black Knights down here, a little Hellcat hiding over there, some kind of demonic figure here, and unsure if this is supposed to be Anakra, the Majorat, or not, because it does kind of resemble it a little bit, right? Can't really see the face well, but would kind of check out, but regardless, looks very cool. And those are the changes for this week. Let's have a look and see what the community thinks. A lot of praise for this week's update, 97% upvote, very high. I'd say everyone is happy today. Questers are happy, Havenheith enjoyers are happy, Dungeoneering players are happy. There's been a lot of buffs or new content released, so holy cow, that Dungeoneering Elite outfit pack is going to be huge time save. 10k tokens for each outfit piece is crazy fast. One person says that opening the world map freezes their game at the moment. They do seem to have an AMD graphics card. They tried resetting back to the April driver, and they said that that fixed the problem. The world map is now loading again. So if you are encountering problems with an AMD graphics card, it does seem to help to revert to April's update. Apparently some issues with RuneMetrics' API at the moment, causing issues with RuneScape Wiki. Must be some kind of account syncing problems. There's been some questions about what size of dungeon to do as a solo player now, because, I mean, they buffed all of them, so you could do smalls really quickly. It's hard to tell because all these people are random people and who knows how much dungeoneering they've done, but some people are saying do large dungeons, some people say do small dungeons. I'd say just test it out yourself because it's inconclusive here. Would also highly recommend to get the achievement diaries done for dungeoneering though, because having extra gate stones from that is super useful. There is currently a bug in the new quest. If you're on mobile, you're not able to do the deduction section of the quest. Try jumping onto the PC version of the game, do the deduction section, and then you can go back to mobile again. That should be a way around it. You seem to get a new cosmetic from completing the quest, but it's not possible to add it to the wardrobe at the moment. It's a item cosmetic. So there are requests to get that added to the wardrobe or let people keepsake it. Omicron is asking what Jagex's opinion of the Dungeoneering Remaster release was. Modluma is here to answer the questions. Is Jagex happy with the number of people that have each level of speedrunning time? Yes, they are. I don't think a lot of people do, but I guess they're happy about the low amount of people. It's been a full 2 weeks since the speedrunning update was released, and a total of 32 people have the solo one-person gold time of under 6 minutes 15 seconds. 32 people for gold. 175 players have the silver time, and for the bronze time bracket, 759 people have it. If we inspect the 5-player speedrunning times, 37 teams have gold, 441 have silver, and 1,137 teams have bronze. I will say though that you can get carried in the 5-person ones. You could get 4 really good speedrunning players to help you through this one massively. But yeah, that's the stats. Jagex are happy with these numbers. Is there any outstanding feedback you're still looking at for the Dungeoneering Remaster? For example, having the speedrunning times moved from skills achievements to feats. They say they do have a good list of feedback still that they're going through. Today's release was the last big chunkier release of high priority points, and then they'll continue to chip away at some of the smaller ones. They just don't have a guaranteed release date for those yet. It'll be more of like a side thing they're going to be working on. On the topic of skills versus feat achievements, They've actually discussed the opposite of moving achievements out of the feats tab into the rest of the, so basically the opposite of what people have been asking for. Since they have moved some of the now combat achievements away from feats, I guess with the combat masteries. In this situation though, they ask, should Jagex be flagging uber hard achievements as not for the average player in some other way? I feel like feats at the moment is sort of like you're going above and beyond to complete something. So the speedrun times seem out of place anyway in skills. I think a lot of people would be happy if they moved them to feats, but I guess they don't want to have hard achievements in feats for some reason. I'm still of the opinion that the speedrun dungeoneering timers are too difficult to be in skills though. The dungeoneering sinking walls bug is currently still a fairly complex engine issue, so they don't have any immediate plans of fixing it, but they would like to at some point if they get the time. It seems like sagas are actually quite difficult to fix, so they don't have an immediate plans. With that said though, so while they aren't prioritizing fixing a lot of the jank with sagas at the moment, they do highlight that Nadir Saga is currently very high on the priority list of fixes because that one is currently unplayable, specifically the merchant bug, so that is a high priority issue that they are working on. Modluma is going to look into the Fremnik puzzle room bug, which I believe was giving people a 104 skill requirement still, despite them removing that from all the other puzzle rooms. Yeah, so puzzle room requirements being changed so lower levels can do them is still on their radar and being worked on, but they have to go through each individual room to fix that. Wind engineering updates, thank you for listening. Here someone got the 104 cooking Fremnik camp puzzle room in Dungeoneering. It's possible they missed that one and they will need to fix that, but Modluma's on that at least. Please let us get a pet version of Inanna. Aside from the various bugs from the quest, there's a lot of praise for it. People are enjoying the quest. I'm not going to include any of the comments because I don't want to spoil you guys for it. You can go and enjoy it yourself. Though in saying that, I scrolled and we got this comment, pretty underwhelmed with Amberfell. But that is after the quest. There's simply nothing to do there after the quest. The dig site will help with this coming out later in June. And Amberfell is still very much a mid-game area because, I mean, there's willow trees and maples there. So Amberfell very much does reflect the level 30 to 50 range of skills, which is, I mean, what it is. Like Mod Ryan said though, they are releasing the higher level content throughout the year now in the second half, and that stuff will have more stuff to do in the areas. I'm unsure if there is post-quest content. There are 2 achievements in-game post-quest for Amberfell, the Tale of Hawthorne and Argit Burns, so there is a little bit of stuff to do afterwards, but there's no repeatable content there, so. On the flip side, for the month ahead video, we've got a 91% upvote, so not as high as the main update this week, but still very high. I'm gonna chalk this up to people looking forward to the 120 construction update. That has not been mentioned yet, probably be July or August in that case. Sweet that Waterbirth is being remastered. That just leaves Natus Not Yatis though and Miscellanea to complete the graphic update of the Fremnik region. I'm looking forward to seeing how the underground area of Waterbirth will look like too. I'm assuming all of it is being updated at least. In the video they did mention wanting feedback about how people are using the clock recently. If you have the clock locked to your map, if you move your clock around, I personally turned my clock off because I don't want to have it on. So I don't do anything with the clock, it just doesn't exist for me. They also want feedback on update frequency. What do you feel about the current frequency of updates? Do you feel like there's too many updates? Is there too little updates? Is there enough to do? Is there not enough to do? I know that this year, so far there's been a lot of remastering. There's been a focus on earlier game content, especially with Havenhithe. How often would you like to see new additions added? Would a major update every week be too much? I generally like the amount of content we've been getting, but I do agree that there hasn't necessarily been a lot for high-level players to grind out this year. So while people might want to play the game, they might not have enough things to do if they're a high-level player who has completed most of content already. In saying that, even with the Havenhithe Part 1 update, they did release Masterwork Range, which was definitely aimed at high-level players. They also had 110 Hunter, which was aimed at high-level players. So there has been stuff to do, but maybe not necessarily something for everyone, or if you had 110 Hunter already, there might not be as much for you to do. They have definitely been releasing a wide spread of content for all kinds of types of players though, which is really nice. Disappointed that there's no Gothixian dig site yet. A little bit surprising that there isn't, yeah. At the moment, they do feature all the updates that are coming out in the month, which I really like to see. I also think it's good they're not talking about specific dates too early, because then people would expect things to be coming out at certain times. Like if they said mid-July for the construction update, then people would be expecting that then, and then if if something comes up later on in development, they might have to push it back and then people would be disappointed. So the way they're doing it now lets them specifically pinpoint dates for the updates, which I really like. So I prefer what they're doing at the moment, actually, with the month ahead. And then on top of that, we do get the blogs where they go into detail about updates that are further out than a month. So I like the balance we have at the moment. A lot of people do seem to like the update frequency at the moment. Generally is one big featured update a month and then some smaller things on the side. This month is definitely jam-packed, and that's the update for this week. Do let me know if you enjoyed the Secrets of Amberfell Quest, if you've done it already, or if there's any other patch notes that you really liked this week. Drop the video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.